Good morning, Good Life. Before we begin our service today, I just have some news to share with you. First, I want to take a moment just to thank you for your faithfulness during phase one of our COVID-19 response. The number of people who have been joining us online and checking out our 128 moments has just really been awesome. And I want to thank all the people who've worked behind the scenes to keep that going. In particular, Forrest and his team for producing incredible online worship, and for our servant leaders and Good Life kids who have taken time out of their busy weeks in order to record online kids worship so that our Good Life kids can stay connected to their church. Thank you to all of them, and thank you to all of you at home for continuing to be a part of the Good Life family. Second, I want to thank you for your feedback on the church reopening survey. Hearing from you has helped our church leaders make an informed and prayerful decision. And this survey showed 3 general responses to the possibility of reopening. There's one group that's ready to meet now. There's another group that's wanting to meet but still a little bit apprehensive. And there seems to be a third group that's not ready to gather at this point. I want you to know, there are no wrong answers. We are all navigating uncharted waters. And we know that your responsibility is to make the best decision that you can for yourself and for your family. And the goal of our church leadership in this phase is to do everything we can to offer options to you to meet your current needs. So after much prayer, here's our plan for phase 2 of our COVID-19 response. First, we are going to continue to offer pre-recorded online services. So if you're not quite ready or able to venture out, we are still going to be reaching out to you through online worship services. We may at some point need to transition from pre-recorded to something like live streaming or maybe a delayed posting of a recorded service. But as long as we can pull it off and we feel like that's a wise use of our resources, we'll continue to offer pre-recorded online services so that those who are still at home can continue to be engaged and equipped. Second, it's been clear from our conversations that we're having and from the survey results that many of you are ready to return to worship as soon as possible. As I mentioned last week, returning to Terra or a similar rented space at this time is not an option and may not be for the foreseeable future. So beginning May 7, we are going to offer limited seating services at our State Road 70 location, the venue, on Sunday mornings. These gatherings are going to have live worship and live preaching in an environment that has a limited capacity and a bit of an altered configuration that's going to conform to recommended guidelines. With limited seating for about 45 people in 6 rows, in rows that are 6 feet apart. We're going to have safe social distancing practices in place. We're not going to pass the offering basket or pass the Lord's Supper elements the way we've done before. We won't be handing out worship guides. But we hope that that will keep us safe as we can. These services will be offered at 9:30 and 11 on Sunday mornings. We're going to offer limited childcare for those services for preschool and toddler classes, while our elementary age students are going to join us in the service. And in order to manage crowd sizes, we're going to need to ask everyone to make a reservation online for a seat at their preferred service. The seats will be available on a first-come, first-served basis. And without this step, we would undoubtedly reach the problem where more people would show up than we could accommodate according to the restrictions. And we'd be required to turn people away. So while this registration might be annoying, it is an essential part of the process. Later on this week, we'll send out an email outlining the online registration process, along with the health and safety precautions and recommendations that we're taking for these in-person gatherings. And if we were to reach the point where 9:30 and 11 services fill up, we would open an 8 o'clock service on Sunday mornings. So that's the first and second part. The third part of phase 2 is that for some of you, you may not be ready for in-person gatherings, but you are ready to get out of the house. So for you, we're encouraging you to consider offering or attending an in-home gathering on Sunday mornings. Think of this as an in-between option, a small step toward regaining some of the community we've all been missing. These gatherings would essentially be a watch party, where a group of friends or a family or two would go to one house to watch the live service, maybe share a meal as they share life. We're not going to prescribe or program these gatherings, but we're encouraging those of you who aren't quite ready to step out for public worship services to invite someone to your house to join you for worship. Maybe invite yourself to somebody's house, or find a family or two where you can take turns hosting. We recommend using our Good Life Family Facebook group to make these connections. And when you meet, just let us know how it's going and what we can do to help you, support you, and pray for you. And as the restrictions are eased or as your comfort level increases, we'll look forward to seeing you attend in-person worship services. Now, to get ready for the next phase, we're going to need to stop some things in order to start some things. So we're going to reduce the daily 128 moments to 3 days a week. Typically, it'll probably be Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We hope that these have been and will continue to be encouraging moments in these uncertain times. We just need to do a few less of them in order to be ready to reopen. In addition, we also want you to know that even though we're not all together yet, it doesn't mean we're not one church. We want to pursue community as we maintain unity. So to that end, we're going to be planning, as the state and local restrictions will allow, special gatherings every 4 to 6 weeks where we can all come together for one combined service. That would likely happen at an outdoor location like a beach, a park, or an amphitheater. So stay tuned for further details in the coming weeks on that. Now, before I wrap up, the elders and I just want you to know that there's not one right answer. There's not a preferred option or one that we think you ought to choose. We want you to make a prayerful and wise decision for you and your family at this time. And we hope that the plans that we're offering in phase 2 are going to meet you right where you are right now. And these plans will give you the flexibility and our church the flexibility to react as the situation continues to unfold. So to recap, this week and next week, we're going to be offering online services. Starting June 7, we'll continue to offer online services. We'll encourage in-home gatherings, and Lord willing, we'll have live services on Sunday morning at the venue at 9:30 and 11. Now, I'll be back on your screens in a few minutes as we dive into our new series in Psalm 23. But now, Dan Chantier, one of our elders, is going to welcome you and get our online service started.